Yo, hey, yeah, there you are.
You.
So check it out, right?
We were just thinking, talking.
There's a lot of shit not people don't tell you shit about marriage or kids at all whatsoever. Like when I first, it's like as if
they're not honest.
They want me to not. They were like, no, but I swear, there was a bunch of people who were like,
that's one of the weird things. That's
have
one of
a
the
kid,
only.
Trust me, dude.
That's one of the only things that people are not really
open
honest about. They're not honest with you.
No, not at all. Not at all. I know people in my life right now, and I legitimately had a conversation about being honest about their shit, and like sometimes you just need to get it off your chest, bro. And they will still go. There'll be a pause, and they'll be like he thought about it, and he's like, never mind. No, we were doing great. Everything's great.
Yeah,
get married.
I would say marriage and kids is something that people are not honest about. They're not honest about it.
Not open about it.
Well, they'll be open, but they're not gonna tell you all the ins and outs.
No way.
Because then they would be telling on themselves is the problem too.
Yeah,
I think that would be a thing too. I think that's why. Because I'm thinking like, man, like I've never really heard anybody give me, not wild couple to couple. Like if you meet a couple, right, and they go to tell you about marriage, they're not gonna tell you
their shit,
the ins and outs of shit. Because
like
if you go to somebody, just for example, you go to a couple and you're like, I'm about to get married, and they're like, they've been married for 50 years, and you're like, they're not gonna tell you like all the shit they went through in the 50 years.
No.
Which I guess would be like not trying to be too negative about it.
Right.
But they're not going to tell you about the work and everything that goes along with it, which I think is kind of, I think it's like the only thing. Because if somebody was talking about their job, they'd be like, listen, man, in the beginning, this job's going to be rough, man.
Learn how to do this.
You got to learn. Like, if you go, like, for example, you go into a trade,
you're going to make a lot of
man,
mistakes.
you're going to be digging, you're going to be doing all the dirt work, and then you're going to be able to get into it.
Up to there.
But with marriage, they never tell you that. They always be, marriage or kids.
Oh, do it.
Kids, they be like,
I
oh,
swear,
man,
it's like a setup.
Best thing that ever happened.
It's like a setup. Yeah, best thing, too. My life without it, there's no way it's going to happen.
Which I'm not negating. I'm not saying that.
I'm not saying it's even all negative. It's not negative.
It's a great thing. But I think it's one of the things that people aren't totally honest about.
So guess what? We're going to be fucking honest with you. So it sucks. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm playing. So it is the best thing ever.
It's a great thing. It's a great thing when you can make it work. It's a great thing.
Well, the thing is like foundation-wise, building it, right? You build 4 to 5 pillars underneath something and then build on top of it. It's gonna be a lot more sturdy. You got to build it from the ground up. I've been with my wife now for almost 20 years. So we've been together for a very long.
I've been together with my wife for about 18 years.
Yeah, it's been
a little bit less than you.
Long time, and overall, it's like
years. Been married for 13 years.
Yeah, we know each other from like the back of my head. Man, what the hell is this? No, we know each other like very well. Yeah. And there's different ends of it, right? So there's roommate shit. So when we first met and we got together and stuff like that, like there's obviously things that you don't know about each other, right? But you kind of make it work. Everything's very surface level, and obviously a great attraction there. But more and more you get to start knowing somebody even of the opposite sex, but somebody who's actually going to be your mate for the rest of your life. You start learning more and more, and it kind of adds to it. It's all a slow build, right? Once you know everything there is, you think you're good, and then you move in with them. But then you're like, wait a second.
But I think those are all steps, though.
Right,
like
100%.
Like dating in the beginning, you know somebody, you know them as well as you would think you know them.
Yeah.
Then moving in is a whole. I don't know what the hell's going on with me. I'm about to call the police. I don't know what's going on with them. It's not in my house. It's in somebody else's house. But anyways, so then moving in with them is another step that's really could be eye-opening, could show you some things that you need to see.
Yeah.
And then marriage after that, because you could be together for 12 years.
Now, some people do this whole thing oppositely.
Married.
They do this weirdly. Like they go like, they don't even move in before they get married. They get married and then they move in.
Well, that could work out too, because you know what? Because I was watching another video with some people having a conversation. They were talking about arranged marriages, right? In Middle East and some of those countries, that happens a lot. They have arranged marriages, and they have a better percentage than we do in America as far as marriages, because for them it's not a lifestyle. I mean, not like a choice. It is something that you do. Yeah. Like you get arranged marriage, you get married, you stay with that person forever.
For sure.
No matter what the hell goes on, which I think could be used here for us as far as the second part, as far as just, you like married for life. You're in it for life. Yeah. And then if you both had that thing. But like I said, so those are we're going back to like the steps. those change every time. So if you think that the person you met and dating, and that's gonna be the same when you guys move in, and that's gonna be the same when you get married, you in for a rude awakening. You're gonna be upset.
Yeah, you're gonna be like,
you're gonna be upset.
And also, too, you guys are both growing together. So I've been with my wife forever, so is he.
Yeah.
And if you're in a relationship for a long time with the same person, each person changes a little bit.
Oh, they're gonna
and
change.
sometimes they change.
No matter what.
They change. Yeah. The thing is to make sure you don't change where you guys are growing together. And you don't just grow apart because you're changing so much, and you're.
Yeah, you gotta be both interested in each other's shit, whatever you want to do. Like you should be interested in it.
Because it's not a roommate. She's not your roommate, dude. And a lot of people treat it like as if they're just roommates. I've seen so many marriages where it's just like they're just roommates. Dude.
But it's the same thing with friends. Like with friends, my stuff has changed over time, but I still can interact with people by going back to either what they like or they can intertwine with what I like. Yeah. But we're not gonna stay the same. We're gonna grow apart eventually. That's why people that are friends, it's very rare to find people that was like 5-year-old friends, like when they're 5 and 6 years old, and they're together at 30.
I got lucky enough where I got a lot of friends that
we've
been friends forever. Thankfully.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But like elementary school kids, and then you're like, I've been with this guy since then. It kind of can happen, but sometimes that has to be forced because you're gonna have different whole outlooks on life. You could be looking at shit differently.
Everything's against you too, just to let you know. So you're already a male and a female. It's already different. It's already different.
And if you don't think that's true, that's you are lost.
You ain't thinking with
because they are
brains.
We two different people. We think about stuff differently.
We move differently.
We react to stuff differently. Yeah. We fix things differently.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, the thing is like...
So you gotta look at
the thing is what they don't tell you is how to navigate that terrain. How to navigate that your wife she's gonna be on her pee friend. She's gonna have her period. She's gonna have mood swings or be emotional.
And
there's
again,
gonna be conversations or arguments that you have that are...
I would say about that part, right? Because some people, like women like to use that a lot. My wife knows... from reading her, self-improvement books and all that, that's really, if you know about it, then you can control it. So like, I don't really deal with like those period mood swings and all that shit because she knows like, she's on a period that she might be a little, and then she'll know how to interact with me at that time, right? And I'll know, and we'll both know, but it will be like a thing that she.
Should we call the police?
I don't know, but that's getting weird. But anyway, so like, you know what I mean? I think that's a mental thing too because now you're blaming it on something that. It does change your hormones though, but but
overall,
they gotta interact.
Yeah, and you
don't want to be like every year. every couple months. A month.
You don't want to live on eggshells, and you don't want to act. You don't want to not stand on landmines, right? So, but overall, to interact, to be with the same person for that long and live with them, and
you're gonna get used to.
You'll navigate your way through. There are little tips and tricks I can give you, like talking about it. I think 9 times out of 10, a lot of relationships that don't last and don't really work out is because they're not communicating enough about honest shit. They're keeping it to themselves, or they just don't want to talk about it. And it's like, if you're not open completely, I'm an open book.
Well, a lot of times, I'll tell you this.
Me and my wife talked about this yesterday. Anything that I said, if we switched bodies right now, you wouldn't be surprised about shit because we both say exactly what's on our head. We say it to each other 100%. Even if it's the stupidest thing ever, or the minor thing, or the big thing, we always just say it. And we just have that open policy at our home. Yeah. Maybe we pick and choose what we say in front of our kid and stuff like that. But when we're together, we're honest. There's no bullshit.
Yeah, that's why I say men are from Mars and women are from Venus or some shit or whatever that is. But we all different. So like the women are different. They react different. But you gotta learn those things.
Yeah, you gotta learn your partner.
You gotta learn women just like women have to learn men, and then you gotta learn your specific partner because that's gonna be a whole different thing too.
Already, that's a lot of work. If you notice, but we all.
That's what I'm saying, and nobody tells you that, right? Nobody's gonna. And when you get in a marriage, like, oh no, it's great, or happy wife, happy life. They'll tell you some shit like that, model or some shit, and it's like
everybody's gotta be happy in the situation, right?
I don't know if that's so. Or we 50-50, and then now people saying 100-100, like. This sounds great, man, and I get it, and I love to see people. I love to see people get married and stuff. I just hope, most of the time, if they talk to me about it or whatever, that I would be giving like real facts, and I don't want to scare you from it. Like,
no, but we gotta be honest with you right off. You gotta
be honest. Like it's work. It's a job. It's you working your job, whatever your job is, and then come home and do another job.
Before my wife, there was a bunch of women, and I was a player, and I did a lot of stupid, fun shit, whatever. It wasn't as satisfying as being married to my wife. it's way more satisfying being with one woman and really focusing on her and her needs and my needs and us working together on what we want to build for the future. Like everything's like it just meshes very well together. But it wasn't always like that. It took a lot of time to get that and to gain access to each other and be completely vulnerable. And vulnerability is a huge part of it too. To not just being open and honest, but to be vulnerable enough to be able to let that person in way further than you allowed anybody else. I don't want to treat my wife like I treat my homie. I don't want to treat my wife like I treat everybody else. I want to treat her special. She's special to me, so I have to treat her that way. And it's the same thing with my kid. She's not just some kid. She's my kid, and I have to the way that we the way we act and react to each other. First off, ain't nobody else ever gonna understand. If they came and hung out with me for a whole month, they'd be like, "Yo, you and your kid are something special," because we're the same person. It's part of me. It's a little me running around. So another thing with kids too is it's super. I've never had anxiety like I had when I had a kid. And I was a man without fear, bro. I don't give up. Anybody could. I don't know if people have said this before, but I always felt like a lion outside. And then once I got married, I felt like I'm a lion caged in. And now I'm just I'm not a lion at all. I just want my kid to be okay. And whatever steps I have to take to help mold this kid to be awesome down the road, I'll take it. Over me, over everything. I care about this kid so much that's the most important thing. But what they don't teach you is how to deal with it when you're impatient or get annoyed, or when you realize the real detail work that it comes into helping raise that child. As some of that time that you thought was yours is no longer yours, dude. It is not yours anymore. It belongs to that kid. So what do you think about all that?
It's a lot.
It's a lot of work, dude.
It's a lot. Kids is a whole nother story, and then bringing kids into a marriage is a whole nother story.
Yes.
But the best way to bring a kid in is through marriage. So
for sure. Yeah.
I would say that too. Like having kids before marriage is.
It was a choice.
I know it's a thing that happens, yeah. Right? But if we're gonna be honest and we're saying we're gonna teach somebody about the right way to do things, the right way would be to get married and have kids. Well, and then talk about it and have it as a discussion, and then both be prepared to have the kids, yeah. And then understand. Because for a long time when we were first married, like for the first 5 years, we told everybody. No kids. Everybody would ask, "When you guys having a kid?" We're like, "No, we're not having kids."
Same thing here, no kids.
We're like, "We good. We don't need kids." And they'd be like, "No, you need a little Moses or you need a little Patricia." And we're like, "No, we don't need kids right now. We don't need kids. Yeah. I'm not ready for kids." We are both hanging out. We're both having a good time.
Like, why would I want to?
Me and Patricia would go to the same club. We would go out with she go with her girls. I go with my boys.
The same way.
We do all that shit, right? We do all these things together. Sometimes separate.
So much freedom.
And it was like we enjoyed that and we had fun doing that. And then at one point when I was about 30, we said, we should start working on kids, yeah. And we did, and it happened.
But the thing is I did the same, and I think it's very important to enjoy your marriage, enjoy everything, build something that's
well. You should even do that.
You get to that kid.
You should even do it before after that, because the problem is,
never stop dating.
The problem is, a lot of people do that too, and if you're not, the problem is, like, I know my son, he's gonna turn 18, he's gonna be 21, he's gonna go out and do his own thing. He's not worried about what mommy and daddy are doing. He's going to go out and hopefully by then, 25, 26, whatever, hopefully earlier, he starts his own family, yeah. And he's got to worry about his family. Then I'm stuck with the woman that, supposedly I married that I didn't know for 18 years because I was worried about my son all the time. And
never stop dating, never stop.
So, like, you got to always be we always have fun. We go on vacation all the time. We go out by ourselves. We go date night every Friday.
It's okay to separate that time.
Yeah, so he knows that too. He knows that that's my wife. And that especially when it comes to importance, he knows, like, her she comes first for most times. Yeah. Even though that's my DNA, which is my son. It's a tricky thing.
It is.
But as far as, like I said, I think the route would be get married, have kids, and that way you have something. You already built something with somebody, and you could do that. Having them out of wedlock, it is what it is. Like, I'm not saying, I'm not gonna tell you what's right or wrong. I'm telling you, if you look at the way the world goes statistically wise, everything, yeah. It's better to get married and have kids.
And so with us too, it was very weird with me and my wife. Like, we wouldn't necessarily say we were missing anything, because we weren't. We just didn't know what we were missing until we had the kid, until we started raising her, until And now my kid's 4, and I asked her yesterday, I'm like, could you imagine your life without? And we both went, well, we totally could imagine how great, you know what I mean, how much fun we'd have. But we could never imagine it without her now. Like, now that she's here, there's no way, like, it's just, it is a blessing, for sure. And it does change the way you look at things. It does build your character. It does build your marriage. It does destroy some marriages, too.
And about the I don't know, his whole lying thing, I'm still a lion. I'm a lion, bro. I don't give a shit.
I'm a pussy lion.
I'm a lion. But anyways, I would say the only thing I would tell you about my son, about having my son, he did make me softer in the aspect of like I'd be like upset
I feel emotions.
I feel like I'd be upset about shit because that's my DNA.
You watch a movie with a kid that gets hurt.
That's my DNA. Like, that's my blood. That's like a little heart, like my heart running outside of me all the time. Chest. So it's like. Yeah. He does bring that out of me.
Did not have that
him.
Before.
And I definitely didn't have that.
Did not have that.
I was fearless. I didn't worry about dying, right? And now I want to see him grow up, and I want to do these things. So it does do that to you.
It does add to your life for sure, dude. If you don't have him yet,
but then I've grown up around people, you know, that don't have that same connection to their kids.
True. And
they don't, especially not their wives or being married, and you know, it is what it is. You'd have to ask them, but I think it's a great thing. Like I said, Mark's like my best friend, and you know, we do things together, and we can talk about things, and we enjoy each other for certain parts. Not to say that we don't get at each other sometimes, but we know at the end of the day, like I think, you know, we're a team, and we at this together, this thing of life, and you know, we're gonna do it till the end. And that's one thing I say. Like that's why there's a lot of quotes. I mean, not a lot of statistics that say like, you know, most men don't file for divorce. It's women, because men, we just want to win. Like we don't want to lose. We don't want to lose that shit.
No.
And even in marriage, you're like, damn, bro, I don't want to quit. Right? Even if it's not working or not working out, most men are gonna be like, oh, bro, you know, like you gotta fix that shit. Like we gotta do something. Like
whatever we gotta do.
They're gonna do whatever, because most men are not gonna quit. That's why most women, you know, go for divorce.
Yeah.
And that's just a man thing. That's what understanding men and women, you know, we different.
Yeah.
And I think marriage and kids is great. You know, it gives you something. It changed my outlook on life, and being able to. We could get into kids. Kids is a lot more deeper detail too.
It also gave me more of a. I'm not saying that I wasn't already providing, because it's what I do as a man, as a provider, but it gave me more ambition and gave me more. When I felt like I was full enough of ambition and full enough of you know, forward trajectory in my career and the things that I wanted to do. Once I had the kid, it added extra fuel. A lot of extra fuel to it, and started making me think more about long money or generational wealth, which I wasn't thinking about as much as I was before.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, not that I wasn't.
What's crazy is, you know, and I heard stuff about that too, but that might be on another topic.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and also give me appreciation for my parents too. Like now that I have a kid and how they raised me, what they must have went through while I was a kid, which I didn't think about as much before.
But I think the thing is too is learning along the way, or not being stuck in ways. Yeah. Like people talk about stuck in their ways, and they think that the way they were raised, they're gonna raise their kids the same way. And it's like, if you want the same results, then but I don't want the same results. I want different results. I want better results. So if I want better results, I gotta do things differently, right? I have to pick and choose and see what was the things that I was missing, or what was the things that I needed more of, or what was the things that I should have, you know, I should have been pushed into me a little more, and you know what I mean. And I would say, like, you know, there's a lot of that going on, but a lot of people don't look into that. They just go off of the whole routine that they've been doing, and they just keep doing the same thing. And like, I was raised like this. I'm fine. Look at me. I drunk water out of the tap, right? And it's like,
I don't want my daughter to be as good as me. I want her to be 100 times better than me.
Yeah, you want to be better. And what's crazy is, I was listening to somebody's podcast. They were talking about that too, and it's like, only humans. Like, we're the only ones that do shit like that. Because most mammals and everything, they just raise their kids and whatever. You turn out good.
Look at the Discovery Channel. You see, like, and then the cheetah.
Lions raise their
kid by themselves, and then just
Lions raise them, and then the man come out and they kick the man out of the pride. Like, go do your shit and get out of my face, type of shit. But as humans, we're like, we want to leave something behind that we don't even have a part. Like, we're not gonna see. Yeah. We're not gonna have a piece of it. We're not gonna know anything about it.
No.
But you want to leave something behind. So
I got a daughter too. So like the way I looked at women or looked at stuff like that, I changed my viewpoint, because now it's flipped on me. It's like I have to the respect for women and making her the woman that she's going to become later on down the road, or at least, helping her become the woman that I hope she becomes down the road, is up to me. It's up to my wife. It's up to our marriage. It's up to a lot of shit. Kids never do what they don't always do what they're told. They do what they see something they see what you do, and then they make the decision from there. So be very careful what you decide to do in front of your kid, because they're gonna keep that's in their memory for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, you can. That's why I say you gotta. Sometimes you gotta change. Some people don't like change, so that's a hard thing
so
too.
A lot of shit that people don't tell you. And it's all of this we're talking about. It's a
but it's
lot
all
of
good.
work.
It's all good.
It's fun.
It's all like
It's definitely
part of
worth
life. I think you should be doing that anyways.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't have kids, you should be learning and growing and trying new things.
For
They
sure.
said if you're the same person that you were when you were 20, when you're 40, you haven't learned anything.
Learn anything.
And it's like,
This is all part, like you said, this is all parts of life that add
Yeah.
to, like if you let's say you were a single dude and you didn't do any of this, you should still grow. But having these things,
but
help
no,
you
like it's
grow.
work. It's
Help you
it's
grow.
another. It's a job, but it's a job you can enjoy.
Yeah.
Like being married or raising kids.
Yeah.
Like raising a kid. I only raise a kid. I can't afford another kid. But
Yeah.
on the other people, God bless you if you have 2-3 kids. But
God bless
I
you.
only can
Well,
have.
God bless single mothers
Yeah.
also, because then when I think about it,
Yeah.
a single mother, I'm like, wow, dude, like that's just having the 2-parent home's hard. Imagine being a single mother, plus stuff too, or single father.
That's right.
There's a lot. It's a lot that goes into it, and a lot you start thinking about once you do have the kids. But
See, we getting a whole nother thing because we are talking about single moms. We're gonna get a whole nother.
yeah, I'm just saying.
Thing.
There's just we don't have to get there. I'm just saying that there's
'Cause
a lot of
Rick.
places that your brain goes to where you start thinking about once you have.
No, I know it's hard work. That's
And
why.
marriage,
That's
too.
why I was
Marriage
saying
is-
about getting married before you have kids is that if you already know it's tough. Like if you're a single person and you have kids, you should already know it's tough. So when you go to raise your kid, you got to teach him or her that you need to get married before you have kids, and make sure that 2 people are going to be able to raise the kid, because it's work. Especially if you were single, you should definitely push it, because you know it's worse.
Yeah.
Like I could have, just raising my son by myself would be crazy.
That was
You know what I mean?
I can't even.
Like I can already see the tandem we have to pull to get stuff done and to get them to understand stuff, and good guy, bad guy, good cop, bad cop type of thing we got to pull. You know what I mean? We got to do all these things so we
You
can
have
get
to
them
be
to
both
understand.
when you're the single.
When you're the
parent.
single mom, like it's different.
Yeah.
So you should definitely, if you raise a good kid or whatever, you should definitely be pushing for
Yeah.
your kid to get married before they have kids.
And if Coca or Ava are watching right now, you better be good.
I'm gonna give you a pow pow.
You know, pump on your butt. You better be good. I'm just saying.
That's really weird, but
So,
pow pow.
how else am I gonna show her?
I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know.
I'm
If you should be
just
pow
saying.
pow in the screen.
You're
Pow pow the screen.
Yeah, pow pow.
Yeah. And now they gonna be like 21 years old. They be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what?
That's what I'm saying.
Pow
They'll
pow?
look back at the video and they'll be like, "Yo,
My
what was my?"
mom, that was pow pow in
Yeah,
me.
it's
What the
pow.
hell is wrong
What's
with
a
this
pow pow?
weirdo? Anyways, so marriage and kids, big conversation.
Yeah,
It can get deeper than that. It can get into more details.
for sure.
But it's not. Don't like I said again.
Don't look at it all negative. It's
This,
not all.
this is the whole
negative.
thing we talked about
It's
before.
anything.
is
Anything
Yes.
you do in life, what you put into it, you're gonna get back out
There's
of it.
this side, then the truth. So what we saying, we're trying to stay in the middle,
Yeah.
because we're telling you there's a good, there's a bad.
Yeah.
It ain't all good, it ain't all bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You make
But
the best of
for
it.
sure is work.
But I think it's work, and I think it's the best way for you to just be in civilization, be growing and helping everything out. Be married, have kids. Go down
Definitely
that
adds a
route.
sense of maturity to
Yeah.
your life for sure.
It helps you out a lot.
Oh yeah.
Helps you to grow.
Get married eventually and have a kid or whatever. So.